Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a personal story that I'm going to share. And I'm going to start with it that I grew up in upstate New York. And when I was 5, we moved to the woods. Out here, we call it to the country. But back east, we were in the woods. I thought we had moved from the little town to the country, and I was in heaven because we had all these animals. I was remembering pollywogs turning into frogs, picking blueberries, playing hopscotch, all the stuff kids do. Well, before long, time went on and I moved to my first communion time, which happens at around age 7 back then in the Catholic Church, in case some of you don't know that routine. Well, I felt like a princess in my new white dress and white shoes. And I guess I was a child who believed in magic and miracles. And I was in actually going into church, I would imagine the statues talking to me. So I was that kind of kid, very intuitive, very curious about what's on the other side of this world. And I just thought life was ideal. And then as we went on with, living in the country and so on, my mother, I was the oldest of 3, and my mother and father, worked day jobs and so on. And I remember my uncle, Doug, my mother's brother, my mother invited him to babysit for us when they were going to go shopping or something. But before that, I was feeling as my uncle started paying special attention to me. And I was like already a fairy princess, right? So I was thinking, oh, wow, I must be special. And he is a teenager and he's tall and he's blonde. And, I had hero worship going on, Well, at that time, he started, let's say they call it grooming me for sexual fondling kind of stuff. And I knew it was somehow, it felt good in a way, but it also felt very wrong. And I was really sort of scared and confused and secretive and all the stuff, something's wrong and I don't know what to do about it. So you kind of keep stuff like that to yourself, And so on a Saturday morning, my uncle was to babysit. We still call it babysitting. And by then I was 7 years old, so I wasn't a baby. But my uncle had invited one of his neighbor teenage friends over, and he was showing off. And he was saying to his friend, hey, you want to see something funny? Well, here I am, this wide open, innocent kid going, I wonder what fun thing's going to go happen next. And suddenly he whirled around, found me, kicked me in the crotch across the room. Yes, he did. I curled up in a ball. I couldn't breathe. I was devastated. At the same time, his friend, who was in total shock, just like me, said, you're nuts, man. I'm getting out of here. So I was alone with this predator in the room. And then he kind of comes over, puts his other boot in my face and says, and if you tell, I'm going to kill you. So here I am, my whole world crashed. What happened to my white princess dress and the butterflies and the blueberries? When I could catch my breath, I crawled out of the room outdoors for safety. So when my parents came home, I tried to hide anything wrong. A couple days later, my mother said, "What's going on? You don't seem right. And you're not walking right." I actually thought it, not that I knew anything like this when I was little, but felt like the pubic bone was broken. I'm talking about very, very severe attack by this guy. Well, everything turned dark at that point. And I could not talk to anyone, but I did have to whisper to my mother what happened. Her face went white, her eyes went hard, and I thought she was mad at me. Victims of violent crimes always take the blame. And I was no different. So one thing that helped me was the fact that I had already been acquainted with a spiritual life from age 5 that I remember. And intuition was a normal thing for me, and talking to angels was normal, and being part of nature and talking to the dogs and all that stuff helped me buoy me up during these dark times. And, you know, just as an aside, as a kid, I started wetting the bed and being sick a lot because of the trauma. So when and where did I find the light? Well, it was there all along, but I had to dig deeper. And the digging deeper was going inside and having more spiritual experiences. And one important one, shortly after the attack, was a dream where Jesus came to visit me and hold me and console me. I didn't understand that dream for a long time, but later on I did. So why I'm talking about this tonight is to maybe bring awareness back to something so devastating when kids get attacked or hurt this way, boys or girls, and have no one to share with, no one to talk to, not even want to talk to. So I went on, never told a soul except my mother, but I processed it all my life because it is something that happens, and trauma, you get set up to be a victim, basically. So when I had 2 near-death experiences after this, I realized I got to do more healing. So I'm here to say there is light at the other end of the tunnel, but it's a lot of work. And I'm here to share this with you. And thank you.